No country claims the ground, where the maps just stop existing and the silence is profound. They try to plant their colors here, red, white, blue and gold, but the wind just takes them every time, and the earth just keeps its cold. I don't belong to any of you, not the east, not the west, not the righteous, not the fallen, not the worst and not the best. No flag, no crown, no God or there's to kneel to. No party, no country, no town that I would bleed and die for. No flag on my chest, no crown upon my head, just the fire that I carry and the truth that won't lie dead. No flag, no crown, no flag, no crown. I've seen what happens to believers when the belief runs cold and dry. I've seen the patriots abandon every principle they claim to die by. The nations rise and fall like fever, every empire turns to dust, but the man who owns his own damn self is the only man to trust. So keep your hymns and keep your anthems, keep your ceremonies and your shrines. I'll be somewhere in the wilderness between your carefully drawn lines. No flag, no crown, no God or there's to kneel to. No party, no country, no town that I would bleed and die for. No flag on my chest, no crown upon my head, just the fire that I carry and the truth that won't lie dead. No flag, no crown, no flag, no crown. They want me frightened of the outside, they want me grateful for the gate. They built their walls and called it freedom, and the shackles they called fate. But I've seen freedom from the outside, from the unmarked open ground, and it tastes like nothing they could offer from inside their walls of sound. Shake when I decide, I don't lose sleep at night. I cut through what I have to cut, and I don't call it spite. Some men need the warmth of others just to find their way. I navigated by the dark long before I saw the day. Don't mistake my silence for a heart that feels no way. I'll just carry it differently in a colder, steadier state. Cold blood running through me, not a tremor, not a shake. I make my choices clean and hard, and I don't make mistakes. You call it heartless, call it cruel, I call it being free. Cold blood in my veins tonight is the only thing that's me. Choices sharp as blades, I don't look back at what I've done, and I don't count my graves. Every man has got a breaking point, they say that like a threat. I've been to mine and walked back out with nothing left to sweat. Cold blood running through me, not a tremor, not a shake. I make my choices clean and hard, and I don't make mistakes. You call it heartless, call it cruel, I call it being free. Cold blood in my veins tonight is the only thing that's me. Just the armor boy around a burning heart, still here, still whole, cold but alive. Free now, finally. Something that was never really mine. I laid the stone with my own hands and drew the finish line. But everything they promised me was built on borrowed air. So I took the matches from my pocket and I didn't stop to care. They screamed at me from the other side, don't do it, don't you dare. I watched the fire catch the planks and felt nothing but cool air. Burn the bridge, let the ashes hit the river. Let every word they ever fed me be smoke that don't deliver. Burn the bridge, burn it down to the waterline and below. I don't need a way back to where I don't belong to go. Where I don't belong to go. Oh, they called me reckless, called me mad, said I begged to come back home, but home was never where they said. And I've learned to walk alone, the smoke's still rising in my mirror as I drive into the night. Every closed door left behind me is another door made right. You want me haunted by the burning, brother, that's your fear, not mine. I sleep better in the ruins than I ever did inside. Burn the bridge, let the ashes hit the river. Let every word they ever fed me be smoke that don't deliver. Burn the bridge, burn it down to the waterline and below. I don't need a way back to where I don't belong to go. Everything I've missed, gone now, good now, free now, finally. I've got no court, I've got no throne, no subjects and no crown. I've got a road that never ends and a sun that don't go down. They said an empire needs an army, needs borders and a name, but the kingdom I've been building, boy, needs nothing but my flame. One man, one law, one road with no return. Everything you see around me is something that I earned. Kingdom of what? Dark and deep, where the only man I answer to is the man I am in sleep. and beg for silence from a loneliness that's cold. But that loneliness is honest. It's the only chord I trust. Every man who sat beside me has long since turned to dust. Don't come offering me your company like I'm something to be saved. I was born inside this silence, and I'll own it to my grave. Kingdom of one, dark and deep, where the only man I answer to is the man I am in sleep. Kingdom of one, cold and wide, where the only war worth fighting is the one that burns inside. I rule nothing and no one, but I rule it like a god. Kingdom of one, solitary sovereign on a road I walk alone. There are nights the wind gets heavy and the dark seems without end, when even all this sovereignty can't replace a trusted friend. But I choose it over kneeling, choose it over the lie. I'd rather rule an empty kingdom than die quiet inside a hive. One man, one truth, one road, that's proof. To choose their next shepherd. The wolves watch from the tree line and never said a word. You want my vote, my voice, my blessing on your cause. I don't live inside your system, and I don't follow your laws. Not your left, not your right, not your red or blue tonight. I'm the thing that doesn't fit in any box that you've built. Wolves don't vote, wolves don't fold, wolves don't do what they're told. Wolves don't march and wolves don't bleed for someone else's creed. You built your world on consensus, on committees and on fear. But I was never at the table, and I was never fucking here. Oh, I've heard your speeches, seen your signs, your holy promised land. I watched the men who followed you die with blood on their hands. You need the crowd, you need the noise, the applause to feel real. But I don't need a single soul to know exactly what I feel. They say isolation is dangerous, that no man stands alone. I say every wolf worth anything built his own damn throne. Wolves don't vote, wolves don't fold, wolves don't do what they're told. Wolves don't march and wolves don't bleed for someone else's creed. You built your world on consensus, on committees and on fear. But I was never at the table, and I was never fucking here. They voted for the comfort, they voted for the cage, they signed away their solitude for a seat upon the stage. Let them have their ovations, their ribbons and their light. I'll take the ridge, the wind, the dark, and the freedom of the night. No vote, no chain, no name, no shame. They came around with contracts written in invisible ink. Sign your name right here, boy. Don't stop too long to think. We'll give you warmth, we'll give you praise. We'll show you where to stand. Just leave your conscience at the door and give us both your hands. I read the fine print carefully. I read what's never said. The price of their belonging is everything inside my head. I don't deal in devil's currency. I don't sell what can't be bought. I've been offered kingdoms, brother, for everything I've got. They can't keep their golden table, their applause, their hollow grace. I'll keep my goddamn soul intact and live without their play. Watched a good man sign that line. gleaming behind his eyes. He got the call, the circle, the respect, the easy Friday night. But somewhere deep he traded all, whatever made him right. They call it compromise, they call it growing up. I call it slow surrender, drinking poison from a cup. I don't deal in devil's currency, I don't sell what can't be bought. I've been off of kingdoms, brother, for everything I've got. They can keep their golden table, their applause, their hollow grace. I keep my goddamn soul intact and live without their place. You think the loneliness will break me, you think the cold will bend my spine, but I've slept under open heavens, and every star was mine. Take your clubs, your tribes, your comfort, take your need to belong. I've been walking on this broken road long enough to know I'm strong. No deal, no debt, no price, no regret. I've been digging since the morning, when the first thing died in me. Buried every promise broken, buried who I used to be. I don't cry above the graves, boy, I just cover them up clean, move my shovel to the next one, and forget what might have been. They say you got 'em on your dead son. Give the past its due respect. I give it 6 feet underground, and then I don't look back. Gravedigger blues running through my bones. Every dead thing made me stronger, every burned down goddamn home. Gravedigger blues, slow and deep. I bury what I cannot carry, and I let the dead things sleep, so I can keep on walking, carrying my gravedigger blues. I buried love that turned to limestone, buried friendships made of sand, buried every soft illusion that I held inside my hands. They think I'm cold because I've chosen not to carry what is gone, but the difference between me and them is I learned to carry on. Some men drown inside their lost calloused hands mean nothing. Every blister earned its place. You think this weathered face is empty? Brother, look a little harder at this face. I've been down in the dirt and darkness long enough to know its name, and I walk back up with nothing except everything I can. Keep digging, keep walking, don't stop, don't stop. Blues, deep blues. They raised the flag on Monday morning, and everyone stood tall. I kept my hands inside my pockets and my back against the wall. They sang the anthem with conviction, every word like a chain. I heard the music, but I couldn't make my mouth say the refrain. I'm not your soldier, and I'm not your rebel. I'm not the enemy within. I'm just the man who never signed for any side of this. I never took the oath, I never bent the knee, I never swore my life to anything that didn't come from me. Call me traitor, call me godless, call me everything you've got, but the only flag I've ever flown was made of what I am and what I'm not. I watched the patriots crumble when the cause revealed its right. I watched the revolutionaries become the thing they fought. Every movement's got a uniform, a language and a gate, and the ones who built the biggest walls were the loudest ones of hate. So I stand between your armies in the no man's land between, where the only truth worth breathing is the truth that's never seen. I never took the oath, I never bent the knee, I never swore my life to anything that didn't come from me. Call me traitor, call me godless, call me everything you've got, but the only flag I've ever flown was made of what I am and what I'm not. said, fall in line, boy. Keep your head down low. But I was born with fire in my chest that I ain't gonna let go. They built their little castles on the backs of broken men. I watched them wave their flags of fear, and I never waved with them. They can call me what they want. I don't answer to the crowd. Let them curse my name in silence. I'll be cursing back out loud. I'm the last man standing on a hill that no one climbs. I don't need your fucking blessing to walk the hardest line. When the smoke clears in the morning and the cowards disappear, I'll still be here, stone cold, standing with nothing left to fear. I've buried friends who bent their knee for comfort and for gold. I've watched brave men turn hollow when the winters got too cold. But I carry every scar I earned, like medals made of truth. There ain't a crowd alive on earth that can tell me what to do. They can burn the road behind me. I don't need a way back home. Every empire falls to nothing. Every king will die alone. I'm the last man standing on a hill that no one climbs. I don't need your fucking blessing to walk the hardest line. Oh, when the smoke clears in the morning and the cowards disappear, I'll still be here, stone cold, standing with nothing left to fear. They wanted me on my knees. They wanted me to plead, but I was made for the wind and the wolves, not for men who believe in comfort and cages and clocks and the warmth of their chains. I'll bleed out beneath open skies before I bow in their rain. Oh, I looked down at the same two roads and chose to walk alone. They said the weight would break me, that a man can't carry this. What they called a burden, I called the only thing I'd miss. Every choice I made in silence, every fork I took alone, built the only man I recognize when I look down at my bones. The weight of choosing never leaves you, but it's mine and mine to bear. The weight of choosing who the hell I am, without a soul to share. You think this freedom comes for free? It costs you goddamn everything, but I'd carry it for another lifetime, for the right to choose the thing I'm carrying. I'm carrying. I watch men give their choices over, to a woman, to a crowd, to a priest, a politician, to whatever voice was proudest and loud. And they call it love or loyalty, they call it finding peace, but I call it the slow and quiet trading of release. Don't mistake this tired face for a man who's second guessing. Every heavy mile behind me is a mile of my own choosing. The weight of choosing never leaves you, but it's mine and mine to bear. The weight of choosing who the hell I am, without a soul to share. You think this freedom comes for free? It costs you goddamn everything, but I'd carry it for another lifetime, for the right to choose the thing I'm carrying. There are nights I wish that I could lay this down on someone else's floor. Nights I wish the choosing came without the weight it wore. But then I think of every man who handed it away and watched his own eyes fade, and I pick it back up every time and call it the life I made.